everyone. My name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thank you for joining me today on this Flosstube Friday for Flosstube number 32. And I think I have some stuff to talk about today. I have a finished object. I have a new start. I have a bunch of works in progress. I have a FFN, finished for now. Isn't that? I think that's a new acronym. There is a train going by that may get loud. I live about 3 blocks from the train tracks, so it sometimes gets loud. And I have a small haul. I don't know if I said that. I have a small haul, but fun, a small but fun haul. And I have some plans. But before I get into all that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you all so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures. And I want to welcome back everyone who's been hanging out with me for however long you've been hanging out with me. It has been great to get to know you here on YouTube and also on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me at Dr_Christy. I'll put it right here. And that's where I post pictures of my sort of daily crafting and my dog and baking and work sometimes, and I don't know, stuff that I do during the day, works in progress, that kind of a thing. So if you are interested in what I do during the week, you should check me out on Instagram at Dr_Christy. This is a channel about embroidery and cross stitch and other textile crafts and baking and history and the history of those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you are not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. So it's March, right? And I meant to mention this last week, but the Steel City Stitchers, who is another Flosstube channel, and I'll link to them down below, started basically like a March Madness or like a March matchup kind of a bracket system for their works in progress. Well, for their stitching, not just works in progress. And there were like brackets, like in the basketball tournament, and people matched up 8 pairs of either works in progress or new starts, depending on how people wanted to do it. And we got to vote for them on Instagram, and it has been so much fun voting for what people are going to work on and what they've been working on. The Crafty Toads did something similar on for their yarn, so we've been voting for that too. Well, I've been voting for that too. But it's been so much fun voting for these, like, stitching. I have like the worst record of choosing losers though. Like I almost always choose the loser. Even when I'm like, oh, that one's a shoo-in, I choose, it's like, if I think it's a shoo-in, that means that it's 30% versus 70%. I'm so bad at it. I should not play the stock market ever. My brother does the stock market. I'll just do cross stitch and embroidery. Like I just don't. I am not allowed to choose things. I always choose the things that do poorly. But it's been really fun anyway. I have not been taking it personally. And it's just been a really fun thing. So I think the voting is now over. And I think, and basically the plan is that whoever, like whatever project won had to be finished in March. Or at least had to be significantly improved in March. So it'll be nice to see everyone's progress on their pieces that won in the March showdown, right? That's been really fun, and I wanted to mention that. So let's get to my finished object. I'm so excited. It's the one that many of you have been waiting for, and it is my Books Are Magic stack of books. Now this is a mixed media piece that is embroidery, so all these black outlines are embroidery. The colors are watercolor, so the green, the red, and the blue, and then also this kind of weathered book color are watercolor. And then I did gold leaf. So there's gold leaf in, it's hard to tell on camera here. There's gold leaf all up here, all this is gold. These stripes here are gold, and the words are gold. And I love it. I was hoping to have it fully finished for today, but I did not. And so what I need to do is put my little signature initials there and back it, and then it's ready to go. And oh God, I love it so much. I'm really pleased with it. I definitely chose a difficult first time gold leafing. And you'll see that. So I actually recorded myself gold leafing this. So I'm going to post that on Tuesday. I want to finish this up and do intros and stuff like that and edit it before I post it. But I did post a not really a tutorial, more of a like, let's explore this medium with me video. I don't think that has an acronym. Let's LETMWM. Let's explore this medium with me. No, that's not going to catch on at all. Anyway, it's done. I love it. I love the whole watercolor aspect of it. I love that, you know, because watercolor is kind of blotchy, and so I love the kind of the blotchiness of it. I love the unevenness of it. I did try to give it some dimension by putting like some darker colors, like in the green, like under here, and some little shadows. I don't know. I'm really pleased. So my books are done. Yay. So that is my finished object for the day. I mean, for the week. Very exciting. The other thing that I made is I made more paper. And I made this paper out of white paper and brown paper. And then I did some experiments with like botanicals. So like these little, they look like pieces of rice. Aren't pieces of rice. They're lavender buds. I added the brown paper because the white was just a bit too stark for what I wanted. I wanted it a little beigeier. I wanted it more natural. But this paper is really thin. It is much thinner than this paper. So I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, this ripped just getting it off of its like support fabric. So I'm going to play around with it, see if I like it. The nice thing is that it is, if it didn't work and if it like doesn't work for what I want it to, it's just garbage paper, right? I mean, it's just like packing materials that I've gotten and been collecting over the past 4 months, 5 months. So I don't actually lose anything, which is nice. So I'm afraid that it's not thick enough to embroider on. So I'll have to see. I may have to think about maybe, I don't know. I'm going to experiment with it, see how it goes, see what happens, and whatever happens, I'll show you, and it'll be an experiment because I really enjoy experimenting. So I made a bunch of paper. I made actually a bunch of that. I made probably 12 sheets, 12 sort of 8 by that size sheets. So I think those are 8.5 by 11 sheets. And I rip them in half usually. So I have a lot of sheets of homemade paper now. And I have some pure white ones that are thicker, and I have some beigey botanical paper. One thing that I did add that I actually really like is I also added some petals from dried flowers that I bought they were on clearance at Michael's, but they're made for resin. So you put them in resin and stuff, but I bought them to put in paper. And so that's what that is. It's like a little, I don't know, it's like a purpley green petal. And I like that a lot. I don't love these little nuggets of lavender. Maybe I'll love them more when I start stitching on them, but maybe not. So that's my paper that I made, and those are my finished objects. That's my finished for now object. And then I have a couple of, well, I have a new start, and I forgot to mention this, but I often will stitch the penguin and fish embroidery of the month, and I'll put a link to that down below. And this month is like a bunch of herbs, and it's parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, because of course it is. You're all singing it now, aren't you? I know I am in my head. Anyway, I worked on this a bit during the week, but then I had other things I kind of wanted to work on, and so I let it go. But I'm making it on a little drawstring bag. My fiance got a bunch of bags. They're right here. Last Christmas, not like 3 months ago Christmas, but like the Christmas before, as part of gifts for his D&D group. And they were just left over, and I'm like, oh, let me stitch this. So I did. So that's my new start and one of my whips. I did work on Hildegard of Bingham. this week, which I'm pleased with. I feel like I've gotten really far. If I can find a picture of where I was, I'll put that right here. And also what it will look like when we're done. And then this is where I am now. So I'm really working on like this fire, and I'm gonna now move on to this fire on this side. But it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of trucking along. My light's really weird on this video, so I'm sorry that I'm really bright. I feel like I'm really bright on this video, and I'm not quite sure why. My light's not any different than normal. But anyway, I'm really pleased. I'm pleased with how it's coming. I'm about a quarter done with those flames, and I will keep working on those flames. Well, I think first what I'll do sort of this out here, and then I think I'll start on the border. I think that's the plan. And I need to finish the sun, and I need to finish these stars. This image is of the Cosmic Egg by Hildegard of Bingham. And Hildegard of Bingham was a medieval mystic and nun who had visions of divine visions, essentially. I did do a video about this picture in particular and Hildegard of Bingham, and I'll put that up here. But basically, this is a picture of the universe with the Earth in the middle. These are the stars, this is the moon and the sun, and then the 5 planets that you can see with the naked eye, and various other things. So that's my Hildegard of Bingham piece, and I think she's coming along really nicely. And she is stitched in various threads. I went based on color and on a linen and cotton blend yardage from Fat Quarter Shop. I meant to say this is stitched in DMC 310 from my Cone of Doom, and it's stitched on a 100% linen, just a bleached linen that I got from fabricsstore.com. I worked on my bookcase, my temperature bookcase, which I'm pleased with, and I am caught up through last Sunday. I do this on Sundays with my mom. This is my Stitching with My Mom project. And as you can see, we were a little bit cold at the beginning, and then we got warm, and we're going to get cold again. And I have a little picture coming up, a little knick-knack coming up. I do at some point need to fill in this knick-knack, but I'm not quite sure what color I want it to be. It's charted in red, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I am working on this also on a 100% linen yardage from fabricsstore.com. If you're interested in stitching this project, I also have it in cross stitch, and you can find it on my Etsy shop, which is linked down below. And there is a hashtag for this that Pam from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough started, and it's hashtag Stitch the Temp Sal. I'll put that right here. And if you are on Instagram and you stitch any temperature pattern, this pattern or any other temperature pattern, hashtag Stitch the Temp Sal, and I will see it and I will love it, I'm sure. So you can be a part of our Stitching the Temperature Patterns stitch along. And it's in my bag, my book bag. I love this bag. I love this fabric. I have not, unfortunately, had the chance to do sewing. I've been really wanting to do some sewing, and I have not had the chance to do sewing. I have a couple other sewing projects that I want to do that I just have not had time. I mean, I haven't had off in 2 weeks, and I won't have off until next week. I just have so much grading to do. The final thing that I've worked on this week is I've been working on my Dragon and Harpy cross stitch, and I finished my Harpy. So this is the Dragon and Harpy 1596, which is based on a lace pattern that is housed in a manuscript at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That is from 1596. And this is what it will look like in the end. And this is my first real cross stitch piece, and I'm pretty excited. So those of you who've been watching me for a while know that I just started doing cross stitch. I usually do freehand embroidery, which is still kind of my main thing that I do. I found this lace pattern. Well, it was this similar to this, and I decided that I wanted to chart it. And so I did, and I loved it so much I decided to stitch it. And I am really pleased with how she turned out. And then this is the dragon head and the dragon fire. And it is not perfect. In fact, the entire lower border is 1 stitch too low. And I don't care, because no one will ever know. It will be on my wall. and I think it looks great. But knowing it is important, like me knowing it is important, so I don't base anything off of it. That is trucking along, and I'm really pleased. Oh, and if you would like to stitch this as well, you can find it in my Etsy shop down below. I think that's all my whips this week. I have been working late. One of the reasons why this is so late is because we had really bad weather on Wednesday. There were tornadoes that came through. We were lucky to not have tornadoes, but there were really bad thunderstorms. And my dog is really afraid of thunderstorms. He's really afraid of thunder. He's kind of afraid of rain because of thunder. And essentially he has to be like under my arm during, like I have to like, or like under my leg. Like he has to basically, I have to be the roof of whatever cave he is in, right? I'm like on top, which is not conducive to things like getting my work done, which means that it took me a long time to get my work done that needed to get done on Wednesday, and I didn't even finish everything I needed to get done on Wednesday, so I'm behind. But it gave me almost no time for stitching. So I'm a little bit behind where I wanted to be. There were other things I wanted to do this week, like wet felt that reindeer that I needle felted. I have everything out to do that, and I just haven't had time to do it. So that might get done this weekend. And I guess that brings us to haul maybe. I have a fun haul. It's not very big, but it's fun. I don't have a lot of FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So like I see people unboxing things and I don't often think, oh man, I wish I'd gotten that. I usually think, oh, that's really pretty. I hope that they enjoy that. But the Black Needle Society had a retreat in a box, like a box of goodies, and it was Jane Austen themed, and I didn't get it because this was you kind of had to buy it before I really knew that these things, that like boxes like this were a thing. But there were some really great things in it. Now there were things in it that I wasn't super interested in. Like when it comes to Jane Austen, I love me some Jane Austen. But I really only love Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion. I like Sense and Sensibility okay. Not a fan of Emma, because I don't like Emma as a person. Like, I don't think I just don't like the character Emma. I don't even remember Northanger Abbey. But Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice are really, like, I've read them multiple times. I've watched multiple adaptations of them. Like, I really love Pride and Prejudice. So I was really excited when I read on Instagram that they were selling their like extras, right? They had extras of the things in the box that you could buy. And I imagine if I had bought all of them, it would have cost more than just buying the box. But I didn't want all of it because some of it was like Emma and I don't like Emma, right? So to make a long story even longer, I got some fun things from that box that were Jane Austen themed. I got a Pride and Prejudice little zipper pouch. I don't know what I will use it for, but I will use it for something. And this is from Out of Print. I don't know if Black Needle Society has any of these left, but you can go to Out of Print. There's no website on here. Oh, outofprintclothing.com. Outofprintclothing.com. But if you really want this and they don't have any more, you can get more. I'm so excited. They had more of the needle minders that say obstinate headstrong girl. And people have been saying when they unbox their boxes, they would talk about this and they would say that this is a Regency lady or it's Jane Austen. This is not a Regency lady or Jane Austen. This is Jennifer Ely from the 1994 version of Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy and Jennifer Ely as Elizabeth. That is her. I'm going to put a picture up here. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. And then I'm going to put up right here a picture of Jennifer Ely as Elizabeth. And you tell me that this isn't Jennifer Ely as Elizabeth. Mark my words. Jennifer Ely as Elizabeth Bennet. Okay, so I got that, which is super exciting. I'm going to put it back in its little bag. And then I got the Floss Pack. I love these colors. I'm so excited. These are all from Forbidden Fiber Co. God, my camera is just blowing out. I don't know what's going on with the light here, but this is ridiculous. But they're all from Forbidden Fiber Co. And they're all named after like a character. So this is Marianne's Broken Heart. Marianne's Broken Heart. Fanny's Friendship. Which for those of you in Ireland and the UK, that is a very funny name, I think. Anyway. Catherine's Gothic Inclinations. Emma's Good Intentions. Anne's Constancy. And Lizzie's Laughter. So those are the specialty flosses for this box from Forbidden Fiber Co. And I've never used Forbidden Fiber Co.'s flosses before, so I'm really interested to try these out. And they're beautiful colors, and they are color fast and light fast, which is really nice because not all like specialty flosses are. So that's really nice. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That combo. I think it's beautiful. And then I got some fabrics, so I'll show you those. I got more of this linen to make hand towels because what I've been discovering is that the 4 hand towels that I made out of this stuff before, I'm feeling like they're precious, like I only have 4 of them. So I'm like, well, I'll make 4 more and then they'll just be our normal hand towels because I love them. Because 100% linen in this weight is fantastic. I mean, they're literally the best hand towels I've ever had. So I'm going to put a link to this fabric down below. This is from fabricsstore.com and it is IL084 is like the weight of it. And 973 softened is the color, I think. But this stuff is amazing. And the cool thing about this fabric is that it is 23 inches wide, I think, which means that the selvage, you don't have to hem it. You just have to hem the top and the bottom. So I got 3 yards and 3 yards makes 4 hand towels. I'm very excited. So I got that fabric. And then fabricsstore.com has an interesting kind of section in their website that is, it's called doggy bags. And basically it's like very small cuts of fabric at very reduced prices. And so I like going for like the under a yard fabrics because they are reduced by 50 to 75%. So I got some really nice white linen. This is a really fine weaved linen, and this linen is even weave. And so I got it. I kind of want to cross stitch on it or like try like cross stitching on it or something, but it is an incredibly high thread count. It is like 49 by 49. It's a 49 thread count. So I'll have to try it out, but it was pretty cheap. And I got a couple of those, and then I got another white. Yeah, so I got a few of those, and then I got just like a white linen just to stitch on. That's not even. So anyway, I think that's going to be it from me. Oh, I want to talk about plans. I don't know about plans for this week because I'm getting my second vaccine shot on Thursday. So I think what I'm going to try and do is record my Flosstube for next week on Thursday and then upload it on Friday, because in case I have kind of a bad reaction to the vaccine, which should kind of come the next day. So that might put me out of commission for a little bit. I do plan on stitching with my mom on Sunday and doing this past week's temperature bookcase, which will be cold again, where we were cold again this week. We were in like the 50s again. So that'll be an interesting color shift again. I want to continue working on my Harpy and Dragon. I want to continue working on Hildegard of Bingham. I do kind of want to do some sewing. I do want to make these hand towels and then see what's going on with my paper. Do some sewing. Felt that deer that's over there that's looking at me. Yeah, but I have a ton of work to do. I am way behind on grading. So I'm probably going to spend all weekend grading with only a little bit of time for stitching. So, you know, we will do what we can do. Oh, I had planned on doing, I planned on doing something with my scarf and my archers from the Bayou Tapestry, but I did not have the chance to touch that. However, like I said, I did record that video of me gold leafing my books, which I'm going to show you again because I love them. And so you can look for this video on Tuesday where I will, and you'll see this fully finished, like actually finished. So that'll be nice and fun. I'm going to go and stop trying to find things to talk about because I don't feel like wasting my time or your time. But it's been nice hanging out with you. Thank you for watching. And if you're interested in anything that I'm doing and you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. You can find me on Instagram at Dr.Christy. And yeah, I'm going to skedaddle and maybe do some stitching. So with all that being said, please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.